Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiemon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 142. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? In all honesty, I think this week's chapter was fantastic. I think it did one of the best things that Fujimoto's good at, and that's, being a very character-focused chapter, and not just for the main cast of Denji. It's actually, this chapter for the majority, it's very character driven for a supporting character, and that supporting character is Fumiko, the chick that has been, overlooking Denji and whatnot. And I think this chapter did a great job establishing her as, what her motive is and why she's so fond of Denji and Chainsaw Man. And to be honest, that's something I didn't see coming because, this character as a whole has been very controversial, at least in, the entire fandom. But I think that after this chapter, it will change the light in people's perception of this character, because I think Fujimoto did a great job at, making us care for this character and, seeing why she's so connected to Denji and Chainsaw Man. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So how this week's chapter starts off is we actually see Denji. He's at a fair, and he seems like he's taking Nayuta to this fair, and alongside Nayuta and Denji, there's also Fumiko, and Fumiko is just, overseeing everything, making sure that Denji is not transforming into Chainsaw Man. So she's just there patrolling and why not, just chilling with them. And, eventually Denji's like, man, like, he's just, kind of bored, and while Nayuta's having a blast, in this roller coaster and why not. And we see that, Fumiko is just talking to Denji, and she's like, I'm really surprised you didn't transform and, go to that church and why not. And Denji's like, nah, it would have been a waste. Like, if I transform, you guys would have been, Nayuta would have been in trouble, and I don't want any of that to happen. And she's like, yeah, but, Chainsaw Man is really cool and whatnot, but, I'm sure that you miss all the attention that would got you, transforming into Chainsaw Man, and being surrounded by people. But then Denji's like, yeah, well, if I transform, I'm gonna get in trouble, so no, it's no fun. And she's like, yeah, you know what, you're right, being Chainsaw Man isn't what it's all built up to be, because I know I wouldn't be like to be Chainsaw Man, especially like, when people are looking at me in the bathroom. And then Denji just cuts to like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble. And then she's like, wait a minute, you guys have cameras in the bathroom? You guys been checking me in the bathroom? Like, what is wrong with you guys? And then she's like, oh, I'm really gonna get in trouble now. Like, oh no. And you just see like she pretty much spilled the beans. And Denji's just pissed off. He's like, dude, are you serious? You guys realize that I do my business there, as well as I relieve myself as well. Like, what in the world is wrong with y'all? And she's like, oh man, like. And this whole situation was funny because, Denji's genuinely like, dude, what is wrong with y'all? Well, Fumiko's just consistently just being like, I'm gonna be in so much trouble after spilling the beans. And I thought this whole exchange was pretty silly, typical Fujimoto humor and why not. And then what happens after all this is that, eventually, she's like, I do like you, I am a fan of yours. And then Denji's like, yeah, right, stop it, cut it out. I know damn well that every chick that has ever try to like get at me or has had any kind of feelings towards me has ended up just like playing me, which that moment as a whole was hilarious because it's finally Denji being self-aware. It's once again him being like, no, red flags, like I'm not buying this. And I can't blame him. Everything that's happened to him, every single female that has tried to get at him at one point has betrayed him or kind of try to kill him at one point. So it makes perfectly good sense why he's like, yeah, no, you're just a red flag. So then Denji, after all this discussion between the two of them, he eventually just says like, stop lying, I know you hate me. And she's like, I don't fully hate you, I hate you maybe a little bit. It's like, why is that? It's like, you know what, I hate Chainsaw Man as a whole. And she's like, a little bit, I hate Chainsaw Man for what he did to me in the past. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I hate him because he didn't save my parents and I when I cried out for him. So then pretty much we see Fumiko just kind of explain to Denji like, here's the history between me and Chainsaw Man, why I think Chainsaw Man is very integral to my life. And we see that pretty much what happened is she was just minding her own business at home, and she explains how her and her family was just chilling, and then out of nowhere their home got destroyed, and we find out that it got destroyed during the fight of Denji fighting the gun fiend, which we know it was Aki. And that was a very shocking moment because I never expected to have a throwback to Denji and Aki having a fight. I never expected this to go full circle where she is integrated to the story because of that particular scene where Denji fought Aki in part 1 and why not. And we see pretty much she lays it down how, you know, during the fight she was asking for help, like, Chainsaw Man, please help me and my parents. And, you know, Chainsaw Man was he wasn't hearing me or, you know, helping me at all. And all she consistently kept hearing was, you know, the chainsaw of the Chainsaw Man. And, you know, Denji's like, then proceeds to ask her, like, did they survive? She's like, they died. And she's like, I don't hold you responsible because I don't see Chainsaw Man as a god or as a hero of any sort like that. And she pretty much explains to Denji, like, you know, the day where you defeated the Gun Fiend, you know, I really saw you for what you are. And that was, you know, at the end of the fight, you know, this person that everybody, you know, thought that he kept fighting devils, kept consistently being defeated by devils, killed by devils, just to come back and fight these devils, and has been put through the ringer. It was a big surprise to me to see that it was actually just a kid. And she just proceeds to tell Denji, like, you know, I don't hold you accountable for any of this. Like, you're just a kid, and I saw you crying, you know, after the fight. So I know that you must be gone through a lot. And, you know, after that, I told myself, like, I gotta help this person, like, you know. And she pretty much tells Denji, like, you know, I'm not just a Chainsaw Man fan. I'm not. I'm actually a Denji fan. Like, and that was a very sweet moment because you're like, wow, like, this person is seeing Denji for Denji and not Chainsaw Man. You know, Chainsaw Man, she could care less about Chainsaw Man. Why not? But she's really seeing Denji for who he is, and she respects Denji because at the end of the day, we do know that Denji's been through a lot. And I think that she, as an adult, realizes, like, you know what, I need to be there to protect this guy. And I think that, you know, it's something that I liked seeing this revelation with her, and, you know, how she integrated to the story and goes full, you know, it went full circle with, you know, part one. I think the way that Fujimoto wrote her in, I think, has been exceptional right now. And I think that he did a fantastic job in fleshing her character in this chapter, which makes me question, like, is she gonna die now? Because now that I'm like, oh, I like this chick, but knowing Fujimoto, you know, he loves developing characters just for then to just kill them out of nowhere. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Fujimoto just kills her, like, out of nowhere in a shocking way. Hopefully not, because I do like Fumiko and I think she's a good character, and I'm very excited to see hopefully her and Denji have a friendship similar to Aki, where she's, you know, the adult and just kind of oversees Denji, kind of takes care of Denji, because I think that, you know, that's something that Denji needs a little bit of, you know, a little bit of guidance, because that's something that Denji's been missing, you know, ever since part one, which is an adult in his life, you know, that kind of keeps him in tabs and, like, just make sure that he's okay. And I would like if this character would be, you know, her, because, like, right now, you know, they seem to be in pretty good terms, and I would like to see more of what their chemistry goes going forward, you know, in a friendship type of way, you know. So then what we see after this nice moment is nothing but the interference of Barem. And Barem walks in here and he just sits down. He's like, whoa, you guys, like, what's up? And, like, he's like, I am also a Chainsaw Man fan. And Denji's like, oh my god, dude, like, what is your deal? Like, what are you doing here? And Barem is just like, you know, it wasn't easy, you know, sneaking in and making it over here, you know. Like, it was a very hard task, you know, especially because of the public safety committee. And Denji just, like I said, he's like, what do you want, bro? Like stop wasting my time. And Barem's like, you know, it's so lame how, you know, I want Chainsaw Man to come back. I mean, I know you want Chainsaw Man to come back too, you know. Don't you want to see this cool action with Chainsaw Man? And I think that was a meticulous moment where Fujimoto was talking to the audience and just letting them know, like, hey, don't you guys want to see cool stuff and, like, action and why not? And I think the reason is because Fujimoto's, like, you know, pretty much letting us know, like, right now is a, you know, human character drama that we're talking about, you know, a dissection of Denji as a character as a whole. Like, we ain't got no time for that actions, you know, and we don't got that, you know, time for the action scenes and all that. And I think he knows his fandom in the sense that, you know, we're very patient and we're, you know, we love his craft. And I think that, you know, it was a nice little touch for having Fujimoto pretty much talking to us in a sense of, don't you guys miss Chainsaw Man? It's like, yeah, that was clever. I see what you did there. So then we see Barem just continuously talk to Denji, and eventually, you know, there's this quiet, like, stare down between Denji and him, and he's just like, hey, just as a heads up, you know, I think that there's gonna be a bunch of devils that attack and kill innocent people, and it's gonna happen anytime soon, so you should probably turn into Chainsaw Man. But it's just a hunch. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I just think it's a hunch. And this dude is, like, so evil, dude. Like, this dude is just a psycho. Like, this dude just, like, gives me chills. Like, every time he shows up, I'm like, this dude is so creepy. And pretty much when he says the whole, like, I just have a hunch that this is gonna happen. So then we pretty much end the chapter by seeing the spear hybrid, the whip hybrid, and the sword hybrid, you know, just chilling there. And that's how the chapter ends, you know, right outside of a mall, and they look like they're about to wreck shop. Now, a couple of things that I think might happen in the next chapter is, I think definitely Fumiko's gonna step in and try to either fight Barem or just call for backup or something, because she knows that he can transform. But if she also knows that, you know, innocent people are going to die, I think she's going to step in and just, you know, talk to the public safety committee and let them know, like, hey, we got to stop this guy. So I think that might be a thing that might happen. Another thing that might happen is that, you know, maybe the sword hybrid, you know, Shugo, he has like second thoughts and is like, we can't do this, bro. And he might start actually fighting the other two hybrids, and maybe, you know, it becomes where Yoshida joins in the fight, or Asa joins in and helps out people after, you know, the massacre starts. But the point is, this is something that's going to be very crucial to the story, because this will define, I think, going forward, what's the direction of the story. Because right now, like I said, Denji hasn't transformed in a while. It's been a good 10 plus chapters since we've seen Chainsaw Man. And I'm wondering right now, like, who's going to show up? Like, because if this catastrophe starts happening, who's going to stop them? Asa, I don't think she's strong enough to fight 3 of them, especially if Barum jumps in the fray and that's 4 against 1. Maybe potentially, you know, the fake Chainsaw Man steps in and helps her out. Or maybe, you know, Yoshida steps in and helps, you know, them out as well. Or Nayuta, you know, she's like, Denji, don't get involved, I'll fight them. And maybe Nayuta gets harmed, and that's how Denji then is like, you guys, you know, you guys said she wouldn't get hurt. And then, you know, he's like, you guys broke the promise. And then he'll transform into Chainsaw Man. But I think there's a lot of scenarios right now that are very interesting, and I can't wait to see how they're resolved, especially because, like I said, we're building into something special. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.